Rename Pandas DataFrame index. I have a CSV file without header, with a datetime index. I want to rename the index and column name, but with df.rename, only the column name is renamed. Bug. I'm on version 0.12.0.
The rename method takes a dictionary for the index which applies to index values. You want to rename to index level's name. A good way to think about this is that columns and index are the same type of object, index or multi-index, and you can interchange the two via transpose. This is a little bit confusing since the index names have a similar meaning to columns, so here are some more examples. You can see the rename on the index, which can change the value 1. Whilst renaming the level names. Note, this attribute is just a list, and you could do the renaming as a list comprehension/map.
In Pandas version 0.13 and greater, the index level names are immutable, type frozen list, and can no longer be set directly. You must first use index.rename to apply the new index level names to the index, and then use dataframe.reindex to apply the new index to the dataframe. Examples. For Pandas version is lower than 0.13. For Pandas version is greater than or equal to 0.13.
For newer Pandas versions. Or. The latter is required if a data frame should retain all its properties.
The currently selected answer does not mention the rename_access method, which can be used to rename the index and column levels. Pandas has some quirkiness when it comes to renaming the levels of the index. There is also a new data frame method rename_access available to change the index level names. Let's take a look at a data frame. This data frame has one level for each of the row and column indexes. Both the row and column index have no name. Let's change the row index level name to names. The rename_access method also has the ability to change the column level names by changing the access parameter. If you set the index with some of the columns, then the column name will become the new index level name. Let's append to index levels to our original data frame. Notice how the original index has no name. We can still use rename_access but need to pass it a list the same length as the number of index levels. You can use none to effectively delete the index level names. Series work similarly, but with some differences. Let's create a series with 3 index levels. We can use rename_access similarly to how we did with data frames. Notice that there is an extra piece of metadata below the series called name. When creating a series from a data frame, this attribute is set to the column name. We can pass a string name to the rename method to change it. Data frames do not have this attribute and in fact will raise an exception if used like this. Prior to Pandas 0.21, you could have used rename_access to rename the values in the index and columns. It has been deprecated, so don't do this.
Fast workshop, Safari.